Hey guys, so today's project is this car organizer bag I made out of scrap pieces of fabric. I needed to have notebooks and pencils for my children in the car for when we go on car trips or when I need to do a spelling test on the go or when they want to write something down or draw something. They have this accessible and it's small enough that it's just for that. So first of all, I have two main and lining fabric pieces, which is the biggest piece, the 23 by 14.5, one strap and one side pocket piece. And the first thing is doing the straps. Now the straps is pretty simple. It's a long rectangle. You go ahead and you fold it right sides together, stitch all the way across, and then I have this cool tool to turn it right side out. And once you've done that, you can go ahead and iron it nice and neat so your strap is finished. The next step is adding the stabilizer to your main fabric, and it's only for the main fabric exterior. The lining does not get any stabilizer. I went ahead and I cut a stabilizer piece 1/4 of an inch smaller than my main fabric lining, just because when I go ahead and assemble the bag, it's so much easier not to have that stabilizer bulk at the ends. So it just makes life a lot easier. I had this scrap piece of stabilizer. It already had adhesive on one side, so I could go ahead and just iron it on, but you could use Wonder Under if your stabilizer does not have an adhesive. Now to do this, I wanted to give it a quilting effect, also because it holds the stabilizer in place and it looks really nice and gives it a nice shape to the bag. So with my pen, I went ahead and I marked 1-inch lines initially, but then I realized it was too much work, so I ended up doing 2-inch by 2-inch diamond squares, and I am just going to do a straight stitch across all those lines on my sewing machine, and the finished products should look like this. You can tell all my straight stitch lines to make that a diamond shape, and this is what the interior looks like, and it's going to give the bag a really good shape, and the stabilizer is going to stay in place. So the next part is adding the outside pocket to your main fabric. It's this long rectangle. Now on the top part of the fabric, I went ahead and folded 1/4 inch, and stitched all the way across, and the bottom I just had to do a 1/4 inch fold and just leave it like that, because when I attach it to my bag, it will stay in place and I don't need to do any more to that. So see, fold it over 1/4 inch, and then the bottom just a simple fold, and then you just stitch across the entire length of the bag horizontally and then vertically for your pens. And you just have to plan where you would like your pens, how wide you want the pockets for your pens, if you want short or longer pockets. I also placed it about 2 inches above from the bottom of my bag, so I would have enough space at the bottom for the shape of my bag. So these are my pockets. You can see there's 2 horizontal lines and then the vertical lines for the pencil inserts, and I'm able to put 5 pencils and a large hand sanitizer in that larger pocket. So that is the bag exterior attached to the main fabric. And then I went ahead, and once that was done, I can go ahead, fold it over, and this applies to my main and my lining. I'm going to stitch on the sides, and then I'm going to stitch straight across the bottom of my bag and finish out my corners, which I have not shown you yet, but my corners do need to be cut out so that it gives my bag a little more depth to it. So you can tell that I have already done the side stitches and the bottom stitches to my main and my lining fabric, and now I'm cutting out these rectangles perfectly, and it gives depth to the bag. And I believe I made these 1.5 inch by like 1 inch. They weren't perfect, but they work for this project. And when you fold them over, this is how you would close the bag, but with the bag wrong side out, obviously. But this is just to show you that you're just going to stitch straight across, and that is going to close your bag. But like I said, you stitch across with your right side fabric inside. That makes sense. So once you are done finishing your bag, you can go ahead and you can put your lining and your main right sides facing together, one bag inside the other. You can see both right sides are facing together. You can go ahead and you can sandwich your strap in and then stitch all the way across, leaving a small opening so that you can turn it right side out. Now, I learned after doing this that your strap needs to be placed right at the side seam of your bag. So the placement of the strap is important. I think I just sandwiched it in the first time just where I thought it could go, but after taking it out and measuring, I realized it had to be placed right along that line right there. So I went ahead and unstitched and then just stuck it back in. See, that's where it's supposed to go, and then I just top stitched all the way around. I added a clip on the other side so that I could open and close and add it. My strap ended up being exactly 14.5 inches approximately, and that is it. That is the finished bag. All of my notebooks go in there. My kids now have accessible notebooks and pencils at all time to take notes, to doodle, to do spelling, to do homework in the car, and there is not enough room to put any other stuff in there, which is what I wanted because I did not want it to become a junk holder. So thanks for watching. I hope it helped.